When you walk down the street and see a man with one of his fingernails polished, this does not necessarily mean that the guy is a hipster. After watching this video, you will start changing your perspective on those men who follow that trend. In other words, you will respect them more, and if you're a guy, you would love to join them. So, if you see a man with a painted fingernail, here's the hidden meaning behind it. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to Did You Know and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. That trend began in Australia at first. It was for men only, by the way. I do not mean that this is a sexist trend or a gender-biased thing. You are now about to learn why do men specifically follow that trend. Actually, dear feminists, this is going to be your favorite topic, and you will get to see how many men are really concerned about you and support you whether young, adult, or old. Luckily, this trend reached the United States, and a lot of guys are following it nowadays. Men get to choose whichever fingernail in the right or the left hand, and they also get to pick freely or randomly any nail polish they want or like. They only paint one fingernail only on one hand. This is not a random thing. They do that for a reason, and the rule is to paint one fingernail only, as we have just mentioned. Some men love to add some cute designs on the paint, and others choose different bright or dark colors as it suits them, because when all is said and done, they intend to convey the very same message. Who was the inventor of this idea? The first man to come up with this cool idea was Elliot Costello. When he traveled with Hagar International, a certain group, he met a cute little girl named Thea, and she was what inspired him to come up with that trend and pass it along till it became very popular and many men adopted it. It all started when Elliot and his crew traveled to Cambodia to investigate this overlooked area. There, he met Thea, a very young villager who impacted him strongly. Looking at the girl and talking to her made him bear in mind that Cambodia's children may not have been the only victims in the world. However, many children all over the world must have gone through a similar thing. Elliot was a very tender person with Thea. He knew well how to deal with children and get them to trust him by talking about fun things and playing games with them. He was trying to make Thea talk to him frankly and freely by luring her with toys and polishing her nails. Then, she painted one of his fingernails while they were both immersed in their long conversation. At that moment, he knew about her struggles and the hard battles she fought every single day. Thea had been sexually abused. When Elliot learned that, it broke his heart and pitied the innocent child. He promised her to keep that one nail always painted to remind him of her. He did that as an act of apologizing to the girl on behalf of those cruel beasts out there who ruined her childhood. He did it as an act of rebellion and solidarity with victimized children who get abused all over the world, and not just only Thea. He noted that the painted finger would remind him of the girl's pain, and it would be the trigger to make him speak the problem up and call for children's rights to rescue those poor abused children from their bitter fate. Elliot dreamt of making a change into those sexually abused children's lives by finally ending their suffering and punishing their abusers. So, he invented the Polished Man project, which became a successful trend. The painted nail signified that 1 out of 5 children got sexually abused, and this finger stands for them. This would make people provoked, and more people would help those young victims, hopefully when they see the many painted fingernails. Polished Man's website works on raising people's awareness to protect children from sexual violence and abuse. Elliot said that men had to represent that project, especially when 96% of sexually abused children were victimized by males. In other words, he wanted to educate men and modify their morals and behaviors towards children. The good thing is, a lot of men and young boys now are following this trend, and hopefully very soon, that problem of sexualizing kids would vanish. Now you know why some men have one fingernail painted. It means support. Perhaps a sexually abused kid would see them on the street and it would brighten their day when they feel they are remembered and supported. How do you think we can end that disgusting problem of sexually abusing children? Do you have any ideas like Elliot's? Don't be shy to come up with an idea, even if you think it is insignificant, because you never know how much it could bring change.